Hello learners, welcome back to the course on AI in Human Resource Management. In the first lecture of the course, we had looked into deploying AI in HR practices. Today, my intention would be to introduce you to some of the well-known AI tools. Please note, things are evolving, but I would like to cover as many AI tools as possible, and most of the tools will be discussed in detail in the coming modules. But my intention, my agenda today is to cover most of the AI tools, introduce you to different AI tools which are used in different fields of human resource management, different dimensions of human resource management, different functions of human resource management. I am Dr. Ibrahim Sirlaisek. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Business, Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. Now, when you look into AI tools specifically, there are many. So the attempt is to synchronize those tools and to bring to your attention some of the most relevant tools, some of the most effective tools that are there in present day scenario or present day world. Let's look into that in greater detail. When you look into AI tools as such, there are a broad classification like, machine learning tools, NLP tools, computer vision tools related to robotics, speech recognition, etc. So we'll try to look into, even the next slide you will see that there are tools for data analysis, for generative AI powered marketing tools. Let's have a bird's eye view of this particular set of tools. When you look into artificial intelligence tools, they are essentially software applications. Please note that when I'm talking about tools, you should have that running in your mind, that these are essentially software applications or systems that utilize, algorithms and models to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. So typically, if you ask me, they can analyze data, they can recognize patterns, make decisions, and even generate content. So the rise of AI tools has transformed typically various industries altogether. If you ask me, you can see that there are improvements or developments in healthcare, in finance, in education, in entertainment. So when you look into AI in revolutionizing the things, especially human resource management, which will come in the later part of this session, the importance or the relevance right now or what is guiding the show is these tools. Let's look into that in greater detail. These are the tools which are relevant with respect to AI. Now, post mid section of this particular lecture, I'll try to focus directly on HRM tools. When you look into machine learning tools, ML tools enable systems to learn from data. They can improve their performance on tasks by analyzing data, trends, and building predictive models, etc. So you must have heard of, or if you're not aware of, there are tools like TensorFlow or PyTorch or even scikit-learn. These are some of the critical examples of ML tools in that case. When you look into the natural language processing, NLP tools help machines understand and process the human language. This includes, tasks such as sentiment analysis, maybe something like language translation, or even as simple as something like text summarization. So if you look into OpenAI's all the GPT series, or even Google Translate for that matter, Spacey. So all these are having some connotations with respect to NLP, and they act as NLP tools. When you look into computer vision tools allow typically machines to interpret and make decisions based on visual data. It could be images, it could be videos. So this area has significant applications, in let's say autonomous vehicles, or things like facial recognition or medical imaging. So something like Google Vision API, or even YOLO or OpenCV, all these come under this computer vision segment. When you look into robotics and automation tools, we have tools like ROS, Robot Operating System, or Blue Prism for robotic process automation, RPA, or UiPath for that matter. So these tools typically utilize AI to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of physical tasks and processes. So robotics can be found in manufacturing, it can be found in logistics, and even some service industries, they do have the robotics right now. The fifth one would be speech recognition. Some of the typical examples will be what we see as Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, Microsoft Azure Speech Service. These speech recognition tools convert basically the spoken language into text, enabling voice commands, enabling virtual assistants, and to a certain extent, transcription services. Then there are tools associated with data analysis and visualization, quite required and important for researchers, typically researchers in management specifically. When you look into tools like Tableau or Microsoft Power BI or RapidMiner, these are all data analysis and visualization tools. So AI tools that basically analyze complex data sets to extract insights, to extract trends and patterns. These tools specifically help businesses to make a data-driven decision. So that's why Tableau or Power BI for that matter is quite relevant nowadays. When you look into generative AI, the most famous of a lot, in fact, let's say at a point in time where I tend to recollect, you go to a photocopying machine, a shop, you generally say Xerox, or for that matter, let's say JCB is synonymous for all the earth movers or all such applications or all such functions. So as Xerox is synonymous to photocopying, the moment we see AI, as of now, maybe tomorrow the things are different. We make it or we understand it synonymously as ChatGPT. If you are asking somebody who does not know anything about AI, but he or she would have definitely have some idea about ChatGPT. So AI is almost synonymous to ChatGPT these days. That's why generative AI, you have the typical example of ChatGPT. When you look into AI, specifically, with respect to generative AI, these tools can create new content. They can create images, text, music, or videos based on the patterns learned from the existing data. So not only ChatGPT, Midjourney, if you have heard of, or DALL-E, these are all tools associated with generative AI or used for generative AI. And you have the AI powered marketing tools, AI which can leverage AI to optimize advertising, personalize user experiences, and even to a great extent analyze consumer behavior. So something like HubSpot or Salesforce Einstein or Persado, all these are some of the typical examples for AI powered marketing tools. So if I want to draw a conclusion out of it, AI tools are rapidly evolving and becoming more accessible. This is the beauty of the system. If you look into ChatGPT, how it became this common was the accessibility part, I would say. Rather than the complexity or rather than the ease it is bringing on to the day-to-day services, had it been a paid service, there are paid versions of that, but again, the moment it is accessible to larger audience, it becomes or it gains popularity, it gains visibility, offering immense potential to streamline processes, enhance productivity, and even innovate solutions across various functions, various fields. So as the technology continues to advance, the impact of AI on our daily lives and even professional environments will only expand. So presenting both opportunities and challenges that typically require ongoing exploration and to a certain extent, please do not forget ethical consideration also. So these are some of the typical AI tools. As I mentioned, AI tools are having applications across different sector, different industries. So let's look into that for a moment. AI tools which have wider range of applications across various industries and domain. The first one I would take is healthcare, no doubt. We have diagnostic assistance, predictive analytics, and even personalized treatment coming into picture there. When you look into something like diagnostic assistance, you have AI algorithms that can analyze medical images, let's say X-rays or MRIs for that matter, to identify conditions such as tumors or fractures. when you use predictive analytics, AI tools can predict patient outcomes and disease progression using historical health data. So this gives a sense of predictive analytics there. You also have tailoring treatment plans by analyzing the genetic information and the patient data available. So we are looking at personalized treatment there. So there are n number of such examples. When you look into finance, you have fraud detection, you have algorithmic trading, you have risk assessment for that matter. Fraud detection machine learning models are used to detect fraudulent transactions in real time, whereas AI systems can analyze the market data and execute trades at optimum prices when it comes to algorithmic trading. And finally, you have assessing creditworthiness or managing financial risks by analyzing the data pattern, which is coming under the bucket of risk assessment. You also have seen the functions of AI or the use of AI in retail. We have personalized recommendations, we have inventory management, we have customer service. AI algorithms recommended products. AI algorithms recommend products to customers based on their purchase history and preferences. Please note, next time you go into a particular website, you may be any online platform, you search for a particular product, maybe you're not buying it or you are simply looking for it for some time or you're just putting it in the cart. It happens that all other further browsing or further internet exposure, you'll be seen or you'll be recommended with a lot of those products or similar products of that kind, which gives a inherent feeling and to a certain extent, I will say inherent guilt that you didn't buy it and you are being prompted or you are being pushed or you are being motivated or encouraged to buy that. When you look into predicting stock requirements and optimizing supply chains using historical data, you are addressing the inventory management. And similarly, some things like chatbots providing instant support and handling services, you are looking at customer service. When you're looking into manufacturing, you have predictive maintenance, you have quality control, process optimization, analyzing equipment performance data to predict failures before they occur. You are looking into predictive maintenance. Using computer vision to detect defects in products during the manufacturing process, you have essentially made a stride in quality control. And finally, AI-driven analytics improving efficiency and reducing waste. You are talking about process optimization. In the field of marketing, you have targeted advertising, you have sentiment analysis that can be done, and also there is no doubt for content generation. You look into AI analyzing customer data to create personalized marketing campaigns, as in case of personalized recommendations here. It is similar. You have the targeted advertising. You have sentiment analysis. Just before going to sentiment analysis, one more word. In targeted advertising, what you see is a lot of money being saved, a lot of resources being saved because of targeted advertising. You get the exact return for what you pay. So basically, out of the entire population, you are targeting the exact sample or the exact pie of the population which needs to be targeted and which can actually buy. This gives a edge over other products. This gives an edge or competitive edge over your competitors. When you look into something like sentiment analysis, is all about understanding customer sentiments through social media and reviews to improve your products and services. And finally, AI tools generate written content from social media posts to news articles, what you see on a day-to-day basis. Now, when you look into applications of AI tools, there are applications even in the transportation industry. You have autonomous vehicles, one of the most talked about, in fact, one of the most hyped aspects of AI, autonomous vehicles. You have route optimization, you have fleet management. You talk about AI systems that are essential for the development of self-driving cars. We are essentially, self-driving cars that can actually navigate safely. I should add that point also. We are actually looking at autonomous vehicles. You have route optimization or AI algorithms that analyze traffic data to suggest the best routes and reduce time. You are doing route optimization, there's no doubt about it. And finally, monitoring vehicle performance and optimizing logistics, you are in fleet management. You look into education sector, there are applications of AI tools. Personalized learning is there, assessment tools are there, tutoring systems are there. When you look into AI-driven platforms that adapt learning materials to meet individual needs, again, as in case of the personalized treatment, you have personalized learning here. You also have automated grading systems that provide feedback on student performance. A lot of universities, a lot of institutes are making use of these assessment tools. And finally, you have AI-based tutoring systems that assist students with their study. So study is no more a synchronous activities. It can happen, it is happening, and post-COVID, it is strongly happening asynchronously also. So please note, these things or these AI tools actually aid for such avenues, such possibilities. When you look into entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, you have content recommendation, you have game development, you have music composition. Streaming services use AI to suggest the movies and shows based on your preferences. Most of the time, what you want to see pops up. That is what streaming services generally do. So thanks to AI that suggests movies and shows based on your preferences. You have AI that enhances non-player character. If you are seeing NPC, if you have understood NPC, non-player character behavior, which creates more immersive gaming experience. So next time you have a clear or more immersive gaming experience, if you're into gaming, thanks for AI or AI tools that actually do this. And finally, even in music composition, you look into AI tools that can compose music or assist artists in creating new tracks. In real estate, you have AI tools helping you for property valuation, for virtual tours, and even market analysis. When you look into AI models that analyze market trends and property features to assess real estate values, there are AI that combines with virtual reality VR to create immersive property viewing experiences with respect to virtual tours and predicting neighborhood trends and optimal investment opportunities. You are looking at market analysis. When you look into AI tools, you have to finally understand the real crux of the matter of what we are dealing with. That is human resource. We have their involvement in recruitment, employee engagement, performance management, this being the actual scope of the syllabus. I'll try to go in detail in many of the modules, specifically from next module onwards. You'll see that recruitment AI tools streamline the hiring process by screening resume and identifying the suitable candidates. You have tools for employee engagement, analyzing employee feedback and sentiment to improve the workplace culture. And you can also have AI that can help track employee performance and suggest training opportunities. So please note, the versatility, the importance of AI tools continues to grow, continues to evolve, leading to innovative applications across a wide array of sectors, significantly improving efficiency, improving personalization, and to a great extent improving decision making. When you look into AI, you have to also understand what are the key factors in choosing the right AI tools, because there are many. There are many options which comes into place, and specifically when it comes to HRM, your resource is always constrained. So based on the available resource, you have to bring out or look into the key factors in choosing the right AI tools. Let's look into that in greater detail. When you look into HR, you have to understand the use case and objectives, define goals, clearly articulate what you aim to achieve with AI. Let's say your requirement might be automation, or your requirement might be, let's say, something like customer engagement. Go for that. It is all about suitability. Ensure that the tool aligns with your specific use case and business needs. There is no point for the heck of AI tool or for bringing the fancy stuff into your organization. You need not go for that. But the suitability, that is the key when you actually adopt AI tool. When you look into scalability, assess whether the AI tool can actually grow with your organization and handle larger data sets or more complex tasks as needed. So you are essentially looking into future growth. You also have to have the ability to adapt to changing requirements or integrate with new technologies. That is important. The flexibility is critical. You also need to have, integration capabilities. When I'm talking about integration capability, you have to have compatibility. Check if the AI tool can easily integrate with existing systems, existing software and data sources. If that compatibility check is not done, it will unnecessarily add a lot of cost to your system. So, let's say you are using a system, might not be that old, but it is not compatible with the AI integration. Then you have to revamp. You have to, make the system new or change the system, which is again time, cost, labor intensive. You have to also look into the availability of APIs, basically, that can facilitate smoother integration and data exchange. When you talk about data requirements, you have to understand the data availability and data security as the vital points. Determine if you have enough high quality data for training and deploying the AI models. I have slightly touched upon the requirement of high quality data and the requirement of deploying the AI models on these high quality data in the previous lecture. So this adds on to that. Ensure that robust data protection measures are in place, especially for sensitive information. When you look into performance and accuracy, evaluate the performance metrics provided by the tool, maybe based on accuracy, maybe based on precision, maybe based on recall through case studies or benchmarks. You also have to look for tools that allow customization to improve performance on your task or your specific actions or tasks. You have to also understand that in key factors you will have ease of use as a very important factor. An intuitive interface can significantly improve adoption among the team totally. Also, there are some skill level that is required. Assess whether the users need specialized knowledge or if the tool is accessible to non-experts. You also have cost and licensing. The budget part is critical. Evaluate the total cost of ownership. It could include even the license fees, the cloud costs if it is using that, training, and even to a certain extent maintenance. Most of these services, the maintenance charge or maintenance cost is very high. You also have to look whether these tools are value for money. Consider the anticipated ROI based on the tool's capability and your specific use case. You can also understand the requirement or the use of these factors specifically in technical support as key factor or active community. Assess the availability of the customer support and resources, let's say like documentation or maybe tutorials or community forums. When you look into a robust user community that can provide valuable insights, tips, and troubleshooting support, you are actually looking into the active community. When you look into ensuring the tool, ensuring that the particular tool that is in use adheres to the relevant legal and regulatory frameworks, including data privacy laws like GDPR, which we have discussed in the previous lecture. You are looking into regulatory compliance and evaluate the tool's capabilities for bias mitigation and fairness in AI applications. So we have certain ethical considerations also associated with the key factors. As one of the key factors would be vendor reputation. You look into the research, the vendors, you go into investigating the vendor's experience, the reviews, the success stories with similar clients or industries. You're essentially, the track record becomes a key factor. Also, consider the vendor's stability and commitment to ongoing development and improvement of the tool. You also have trial and evaluation as critical key factor. Specifically, whenever possible, conduct a pilot or trial to evaluate the tool's effectiveness in your environment before making a long-term commitment. Use also iterative, feedback from your team to assess and refine the implementation. So, by carefully evaluating all these typical considerations what we have discussed, you can actually select AI tools that are not only fit for your current requirements, but typically also supports your organization's long-term goal. So these are some of the critical AI tools. Now let's look into the main theme of the lecture, which is AI tools used in human resource management. Every single function in HRM will have a significant use of these tools. What we understand is that today you have recruitment, you have employee engagement, you have performance review, performance management, if I can use the word. All these aspects typically singularly have certain AI tools that can help these critical aspects. Be it recruitment and selection, we'll come to that in detail. You can have every single process being helped by an AI tool or aided by an AI tool, like applicant tracking system. You have resume screening, you have chatbots to address the FAQs. Otherwise these were trivial functions which needed manpower. But nowadays a lot of organizations have started employing AI tools, which makes it more competent, makes it more efficient. So please note, this is where we typically start the discussion on AI tools in human resource management. Again, my intention today is only to introduce you to some of the tools. Most of these tools are separately discussed in detail in the coming modules specifically. Let's say like module 3 talks about employee engagement, or maybe person job fit. So what are the different AI tools? We'll look into that. But in general, what are the AI tools that are used in human resource management? We'll look into that now. So when you look into, or when you talk about AI tools used in human resource management specifically, you have tools that are used in recruitment and talent acquisition. We'll start from that. As you can see, applicant tracking systems. There are some critical tools like Greenhouse and Liver Streamline, which actually streamline the entire hiring process by organizing applications and tracking candidates. You have resume screening functions done by AI tools like HireVue and PyMetrics. We'll quickly see what HireVue is in the next slide. We also have chatbots, solutions such as XOR or Mia that can actually help candidates to answer the queries and schedule interviews, etc. Now let's look into one of the typical tool that has gained momentum over time. Again, this is just one of the tool. I have given credit to the website itself, and also the picture credits here are given. So basically, you have an option to go to that and look into the demo version, maybe explore around that. But unless and until it's an organization, it does not make much of a sense. But people do explore to understand what are the nitty-gritties associated with these tools. So let's go into that in greater detail. HireVue, it uses AI-driven video interviewing to assess candidates through facial expressions, word, choice, and tone. So basically, how you express yourself in terms of your facial expression, the word choice, and the tone and tenor are all picked up. So it helps streamline the hiring process by scoring candidates based on their video responses. So you got to send an email invite, go to HireVue website or app. You can see this interface of HireVue website. Just log in and create the demo request. Then your interview will be generated, as there's a practice session also that is being provided in the software. If you're interested to explore, you can go and see that. It records answers to questions by talking to your screen and gets an email back. If you got through or not, assessed by AI or reviewed by a human directly, your result boils down to a collection of recommendations of, let's say, yes, maybe, or no. So this is what we have seen through the use of HireVue. You will get a welcome screen, something like as a factor of appreciation of getting introduced to this thing. Remember, you got this far and now it's time to show why you have what it takes to get to the next interview stage. So basically that's what it prompts you to. Then you will go to the next screen, which looks into video questions specifically, where we get an overview of how many video questions that will be there to answer. If there are multiple choice or coding questions, that will be also listed here. The interview has 3 one-way video questions. So I hope that this is pretty easy. Most of us who have gone through actual interview and stuff, this looks very easy. Again, we have a picturization of how you get a welcome video. It may take a minute or so. Again, the picture credits are similar. It takes a minute or so to watch, but importantly, it can help you get into the mindset that this is an interview, which is so hard to do with a remote one-way video interviews. You also will get a pop-up that tries to make sure that HireVue is able to record you. So that is a good thing, because then you will get the opportunity to see what you look like. Let's say for real, this is a great time to get yourself to set up for success. So basically, you have a preparatory session here. You are being trained here. Here we have one attempt to record. Please don't expect anything more for the real thing. Some companies may let us have multiple attempts. That's a possibility, but it seems to be exception, not the norm. So if you mess up, take a breath, stay composed, and continue. This is how you have to tackle with any online system. We get a brief, let's say a screen like this, intro to the simple layout for the video questions. You can finish the preparation time early and finish your answer. Recording early too. Remember, you are not being recorded straight away. This is the prep time. Your timer counts down, and if you didn't end early, you are done. So you might have noticed the practice question is typically very generic. So basically, it gives an idea of how you get prepared for the interview. So on a serious note, before you click again, make sure you are in the right mindset. You are prepared yourself and your environment for the next segment. Go in feeling great. Remember to sit on landing and finish answers before the timer runs out. So prep timer is going once it runs out. So this is for real. Read the questions and start answering. So again, these are preparatory mechanisms, and finally you get an option to submit your answers per se. So this is how the typical HireVue page works. Question 1 done. If something didn't go right, don't sweat it. Reset game, face on time to do this again. Reset the whole system, do this again and again until all the questions are done. So even getting to the HireVue is a victory. You shouldn't actually underestimate speaking confidently and concisely, because this is a reflection of how you actually perform. There are other recruitment tools and hiring tools like PyMetrics. PyMetrics is an AI tool which uses neuroscience games to assess candidates' cognitive and emotional traits, helping to reduce the bias in hiring and improve the job matching. There is XOR, AI-powered recruiting chatbot that engages with candidates via messaging platforms, automates interview scheduling, and assists with candidate screening. And there is this chatbot Mia, an AI chatbot that assists with screening candidates, answering FAQs, and even scheduling interviews to reduce the recruiter workload. Now there are AI tools that are associated with onboarding. Again, please wait for module 3 where we'll be going about these tools in greater detail. Onboarding tools like Bamboo HR or Gusto. Onboarding platforms are these platforms such as Lessonly employ AI to personalize training resources and resources for new employees, typically ensuring they get the support they need. And then you have employee engagement and experience. You have Pulse surveys. Pulse surveys are tools like Glint and Qualtrics. If you have used, you might have enjoyed filling a survey in Qualtrics, which uses AI to analyze the employee feedback and provide insights on the different engagement levels. You also have the employee sentiment analysis, platforms such as TinyPulse, which utilize natural language processing to gauge employee sentiment through their communication. Then you have employee engagement and retention tools. Another example is the Culture Lamp. Again, the source is given, the picture credits are also given. An AI-based platform for gathering. See, my intention here is to I cannot actually display the whole software, because every single software has a payment part associated with it. But through the demo versions, I'll try to give you an understanding of the entire scheme of Culture Amp. An AI-based platform for gathering employee feedback, typically through surveys and analyzing engagement trends to help improve company culture and employee retention for that matter. This Culture Amp is an employee engagement software system that can typically help you manage employee engagement, performance management, employee development, all in a single platform. So Culture Amp builds itself as an employee experience platform, if you ask me, and claims to help users build a competitive advantage by putting culture first. Employee engagement features, let's say like pre-built and customizable survey templates, heat map analytics, etc. Also note, if you go further deeper, you will get a turnover prediction which gives user a gauge on their employee performance management, which helps to line up the personal employee level goals with company wide. You also get an understanding of employee development tools, specifically which help focus on management training and skill tracking across the organization. Culture Amp is totally dependent on the different aspects. So if you go through that, if you explore, you will see different packages, different available plans you can choose. Maybe something like self-starter, standard, and enterprise. The main difference, if you go through, you will see that between these three options, the more personalization and individual coaching and education is not available in the free version or free trial. So this is something which is there on the premium version. You also get to see a template library. Culture Amp provides over 30 survey templates to help users keep a pulse on their employees, with subjects ranging from engagement, onboarding, offboarding, and more, while these surveys are typically curated. You also get to understand the different analysis, out of box understanding, customize them to specifically fit their organization management level users, that can then use built-in report features, reporting aspects to gain insight on the typical engagement that every single employee or a set of team or a group is having. You also get to see other key factors like heat maps and trend text line, or heat maps, trend lines, text analytics, etc. You also finally understand that Culture Amp includes performance management tools to help managers coach their employees throughout the year with several different methods. So please note, when you look into these platforms, multiple sources of information are gathered for each employee, whether that's from other peers or with a 360-degree feedback from managers, from one-on-one sessions, or even from themselves with self-reflection forms. All these tools come with customizable templates and can line up with objectives and key results typically. You also get to see different team wise performance, how you will perform, some scales that measure, some feedback loops that actually check. So set for teams or for the organization as a whole, integration with teams, and you can identify the Slack, make performance management, providing feedback seamlessly, giving users fewer clicks to actually provide it to their peers. Also, please note, Culture Amp includes employee development tools which are aimed specifically at managers to empower them with knowledge on developing the skills, building efficient, inclusive team skills, coach, help to drive behavior and management specifically. You also have habits with quick bite-sized lessons and exercises delivered via Slack, Teams, or email playbooks that are a collaboration between Culture Amp and Life Labs Learning, and provide quick answers on management-centric topics like, let's say, coaching, productivity, and typically the skills that are being used or utilized. And finally, you will have tracking tools that can help managers keep track of what each employee is knowledgeable and experienced in, and where potential gaps may lie. So Culture Amp has a wide range of employee engagement tools, but it still has its own pros and cons. Ease of use is a common praise for Culture Amp. Users appreciate the options to provide anonymous feedback, or even to a great extent send surveys targeted specifically on a single individual. However, users find that the reporting features actually lacks citing data expert, or features to be lacking citing data export and report customization in particular. It's best practice to get several quotes. What are the other employee engagement retention tools? You have Peakon. Peakon is again an AI-powered employee engagement platform that collects real-time feedback from employees and uses data analytics to provide insights into workforce morale and engagement levels. You have the pretty common Tiny Pulse. This tool collects anonymous feedback from employees and uses AI to analyze sentiment and identify areas where employee satisfaction can be improved. So basically, you'll see that these are the typical employee engagement and retention tools. What about tools used in performance management? Let's quickly look into that. You have tools like Lattice and Five that employ AI to gather feedback and provide insights into employee performance against set goals. You have continuous feedback systems like solutions like Reflective, which facilitate ongoing feedback mechanisms, enhancing team collaboration and performance tracking. You have typical tools in learning and development, typically the learning management systems, LMS. Tools such as Docebo and Cornerstone on Demand use AI to personalize learning paths for employees based on the job roles and career aspirations. There are some AI platforms like Edcast, which actually goes for skill gap analysis, identifying skill gaps and recommend training programs to bridge those gaps. Please note, you must have already gone through some of the Coursera aspects. There are some L&D tools, learning and development tools, specifically Coursera for Business, which provides AI-driven personalized learning pathways for employees based on their job roles, based on their skill gaps, based on the personal career goals. As previously mentioned, there is Edcast, an AI-powered learning experience platform that delivers personalized learning and training content based on employees' preferences and performance metrics. And there is Degreed. Degreed is a tool which uses AI to curate learning content from various resources, typically to provide personalized development plans for employees. Various sources and provide personalized development plans for employees. Then you have AI tools that are used for workforce planning. You have tools for predictive analytics, tools like Visio and Anaplan, which offer predictive analytics to forecast workforce needs and make informed decisions regarding hiring and resource allocation. You have specific solutions like Predictive HR. You have Predictive HR, which utilize algorithms to analyze employee data and predict turnover risk. Tools like Visio, if you have seen Visio, we'll explain that in detail, specifically Workday and all. Visio is a workforce analytics tool that uses AI to provide insights into employee performance, into turnover and talent gaps, helping the human resource management department to make data-driven decisions about the workforce. You have the highly important and mostly used Workday. If you have applied for a job outside, which I'll detail in module 3 again, you must have come across this Workday, an enterprise AI tool for HR management that helps with talent acquisition, helps with workforce planning, helps with employee development, all these things, offering predictive analytics and insights. All these aspects are, coming under one umbrella, that is Workday. Then you have Eightfold.ai, which uses AI to predict employee career paths, match internal candidates to open positions, and help with talent planning and succession management. Also, please note, we have tools not only for external recruitment but also for internal succession planning. When you look into AI tools, you have to also understand AI tools used for automation of routine tasks. We have HR chatbots, tools like ServiceBot and Sappy Automate that actually helps in answering HR queries and processing requests for time off. You have document management platforms like DocuSign that uses AI to manage contracts and HR documents efficiently, streamlining the administrative process. Towards the payroll and HR automation tools, you have Cenefits. Cenefits, an AI-powered HR platform that automates payroll, benefits management, and compliance tasks, helping the HR departments reduce the manual work. You also have the ADP Workforce. ADP Workforce is again an AI-powered platform that manages HR, payroll, talent and benefits, streamlining operations and offering predictive insights into the workforce data. Finally, you have AI tools also in the diversity and inclusion domain and the employee retention and well-being. When you look into diversity and inclusion, you have certain bias detection tools. Tools like Textio and Apply Magic Sauce help to create bias-free job description and assess candidate diversity metrics totally. There is also diversity analytics, which use platforms such as Syndio that analyze workforce or workplace data to track diversity initiatives and report on progress. Then you have employee retention and well-being being measured or used or being curated by certain tools like employee well-being platforms like LifeWorks, which use AI to offer personalized well-being resources and track employee wellness metrics. There are certain retention tools, solutions like Know Your Team, analyze employee data to generate insights on factors affecting retention and suggest improvement strategies. So please note, these are some of the typical AI tools that are used in HR. So we started with the introduction of some of the AI tools. We ventured into typically understanding some of the AI tools that are used these days, and we then delved into AI tools that are typically used in human resource management practices, HR practices, or HR management. Please note, all these tools require a lot of resources. So please be prudent, be proactive in using the tools. You have to identify which tool you need actually. Based on that need analysis, you will get to a point where you'll shortlist on certain tools. Based on those tools, you can actually get greater productivity. Please note, in the end of the day, what you want is greater productivity, greater effectiveness. You want better candidate and a more inclusive workspace. If these tools can give you this, there is nothing better than that. On that note, we'll end today's class. We'll discuss more about AI and HRM in the coming classes. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.